Hey, Magic fans, welcome back. This is your captain speaking here on Captain Clyde's MTG. We're here for some more Commander Leaks. We don't got a whole lot, but we do have some interesting stuff to talk about. For those of you who may have watched some of the videos or maybe you haven't, I qualified for the next weekend's qualifier event on Magic the Gathering Arena. So we'll talk about that later a little bit and what we're going to do around that. But first, Commander Leaks. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Trade table and seat backs in our full upright position because we've got V-Rock, or Rock. Oh, V-Rock sounds a little better. Anyway, so we have 2 black and 3 for a 3/3 bird demon because, birds are demons. Anyway, this 3/3 is flying. At the beginning of your end step, if a permanent you control left the battlefield this turn, each opponent loses 3 life. Pretty good card. Great for those sack decks out there, but for 5 mana, it's going to be really rough. Unless those sack decks include getting stuff out of the graveyard, because 5 mana might be a bit much. But in Commander, you got Soul Rings and stuff floating around, so is it that hard? Really? Anyway, moving right along, that's our only uncommon. Now we go straight to the rares. Next we have Call of the Void, black and 4 sorcery. It says each player secretly chooses a creature they control and a creature they don't control. Then reveal those choices. Destroy each creature chosen this way. So, honestly, this is basically a board wipe in a multiplayer game for 5 mana. The only thing I don't like, I like the fact that you get to choose 2 creatures. One you control, one you don't. Um, it's kind of like each player sacrifices a creature because you know which one you're going to pick, right? But then they get to pick one of theirs and you get to pick one of yours. So basically, it's going to in a 2-player game, it's going to guarantee 5 mana 4 creatures are going to die. 2 of your opponents, 2 of yours. Um, if you don't have any creatures, obviously you can't choose one. The thing I don't like about this card is do it secretly. Um, secretly sounds better and it's a lot funner because you don't know who's gonna. Multiple people could pick the same card twice. Um, and that makes it really fun because you don't really know what's gonna get blown up. But on the side note, you gotta have a pad, a paper. You gotta write down who's, I want to kill Bob's Llanowar Elf and my Llanowar Elf, and so forth and so on. Um, so that's the biggest downfall I think to it. If you come prepared, it's not going to be a big thing, but I think it's going to cause more hassle to the game than is really necessary for casual, especially. So, Next we have the Owl Bear Cub. So for a green and 2, you get a 3/3. It's on rate. It's a bird bear because, owl, bear. I like how there's a armor here. Anyway, so it says Mom is coming. So whenever Owlbear Cub attacks a player who controls 8 or more lands, that's rather specific, look at the top 8 cards of your library. You may put a creature card from among them onto the battlefield tapped and attacking that player, but the rest of the cards in the bottom of the library in a random order. So this is really sweet, unless your opponent doesn't have 8 lands. So I don't know how I feel about this, because honestly, if your opponent has 8 lands, you're probably already losing or dead. It's going to be fun for group games and, casual shenanigans. But for those people who actually play, I don't see this being a big thing. I can see where it can be really cool. Um, but then again, if you get this thing to fire once, just, wow. Could be pretty neat. I'll have to wait and see. I think it's probably going to be a little more bulk than anything, but 3 mana for a 3/3 is not bad. So, Next, we have Ascend from Avernus. So for white, white, and X, sorcery. Return all creature and planeswalker cards mana value X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Exile this card, basically. So I think this is going to be rather broken for a rare, only because it says creatures and planeswalkers. Um, 7 mana, 8 mana is probably not hard to get. Not gonna lie. With that said, um, if you get this for 8 and you get anything 5 or less to your graveyard onto the battlefield, it's everything on the battlefield. They could very easily just ruin a game and just call it a win. So, yeah. I think it's probably going to see a good chunk of play, especially in white decks. Um, yeah, I think his card's going to be good. It's just going to be how good is it. So that's what I think about that. So moving on now to the second half of the show, we've got qualifier weekend for May 28th. As I mentioned to you guys, and I posted in the previous video, I qualified for the May 28th qualifier weekend to play sealed in Magic the Gathering Arena. So what does that mean? So starting the 28th, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. Pacific time, I am going to have to register, make my deck, and by 8 a.m. actually be or ready to play by clicking the play button before 8 a.m. So I'm going to do my best to be on by 6 or 7 at the latest so I can get started. I'm going to aim for, let's say, 7. Yeah, we'll say 7 a.m. So, with that said, I'm going to attempt to live stream my whole gameplay from my computer on a live stream in YouTube. So, for any of you guys who are looking forward to that, make sure you set your calendar and mark it. I'll start around 7 a.m. Hopefully, I'll get to play for quite a bit and make it the whole way to day 2. And if I don't, well, you're going to see how bad I really am at this game, or hopefully how good I am at it, or just plain lucky, which is sometimes what it takes, right? So, with that said, I told you guys I would take a look and get some details about the weekend. So, before I get into those, remember, I'm going to try to start around 7 a.m.-ish, so I can start building my deck and stuff. Gameplay should start around 8. Between 7 and 8, I will start the stream, just so you guys know that I'm going. I would definitely think around 8 be ready to go in, but I would set those notifications for when I go live because you'll never know. I might start early depending on how things go. I'm obviously not going to go through and video the whole view of me building the deck because that's relatively boring. So, but for those who want to watch, I will stream my gameplay. So, to the best of my ability, if everything goes well. Now, if it doesn't go well, I'll do my best just to record it and I'll play it later for you guys. And that way, you guys can see it. Now, mind you as well, because this is an actual tournament, I won't be taking any chats or anything because the last thing I want to do is have people actually trying to influence the game or get me in trouble or some silly shenanigans. So, also got to look to make sure that I can stream it. If I can't, I'll record it and play it after the fact for all you guys. So stay tuned for that. I'll have a video later in the week where I'll mention that in some of my other leaks. So with that said, let's get into what this weekend looks like. So, got some screenshots here. So it's going to start, as you can see, Saturday, May 28th, 6 a.m. Pacific time. Day 1 event begins. That's the start of the 2-hour window, like I mentioned, 6 to 8. So cards will be added to players' collections. Once a player has completed deck building, they can select the green play button and enter the matchmaking queue. At 8 a.m., the day 1 window closes. Players must have selected the green start button and entered deck building prior to 8 a.m. That's the deadline. Changes to the main deck configuration are permitted between rounds. Players only get to compete in one course of day 1 events, 7 wins or 2 losses. So I'm either going 7 straight or 1 loss. So if you get 2 losses, you can no longer play. Notice that they changed this from 3 last time, probably make this a little faster. It's going to end around 4 p.m. That's when the matchmaking queue is disabled, and the matches in progress will be allowed to finish until the event ends. So this is also a change for 1 hour earlier from previous. 5 p.m. day 1 ends. Again, an hour earlier than before. Players who reach 7 match wins on day 1 are eligible to play on day 2 and will receive a day 2 token. The day 2 event should be visible to all players with a token, but players will be unable to join the event until the next day. If you do not see the event, contact customer service as soon as possible. So, once again, I only have, it looks like, if I start at 8 a.m. and hit the green button for the queue, I have 8 hours to finish 7 rounds, which should be enough. But also remember, these 7 rounds are only 1 game rounds. They're not multiple game rounds. They're not 2 out of 3. At least I don't think they are. They actually don't state that, but what I entered in was a non 2 out of 3 best of 1 scenario. So we'll have to see how it goes. So next here, what we have is on Sundays when day 2 happens, again starting at 6 a.m. with a 2-hour window ending at 8. When you select the start button, you will join the traditional draft queue, the same one as ranked play competitors who are not part of the qualifier weekend. Player usernames are anonymous. You won't be able to distinguish who is in the qualifier weekend and who is not. Once drafting is complete, build your initial deck and build your additional main deck. All requirements is that you must have minimum of 40 cards. Every time you complete a match in the event, Game Client will automatically de-sideboard any changes made during the match. I'll have to see how that goes. Changes to the main deck's configurations are permitted between rounds. Cards will not be added to players' collection. So again, these are our phantom drafts if I haven't mentioned that yet. And then finally, we have a little bit of the day 2 stuff. When 8 a.m. hits, you must have selected the start button. Players get to compete in the course. 7 wins or 2 losses, again, changed from 3. This will be significantly fewer players in the day 2 event than in the day 1 event. Matchmaking times may be much longer than usual. Players should remain in the matchmaking queue even if the wait time takes a while. You may not have an opponent to match up with immediately. So again, 4 p.m. it's going to end. Once again, our early day 2 ends at 5 p.m. again early. So again, 7 rounds in 8 hours. It's going to be a non-stop party fest of just get them. So hopefully I'll be in that. And then after that, we have the prize structure here. So for day 1, if you can make it to day 2, you get 20,000 gems on a day 2 token. That's pretty sweet. One win is 5,000, 3, 5, 75, 10, and 15. I want to get to 7, but if not, I want to get as high as I can to get extra gems, and then maybe I'll play some more events. And I'll actually stream those for you guys too if you like. If I do make it to day 2, the day 2 prize structure continues with a small amount of gems, honestly, with the big prize being 7 wins and the Arena Championship. So all players with 7 wins will receive an invitation to compete in the Arena Championship, provided they are eligible to participate. Eligible players will be contacted with 3 to 5 business days to provide Wizards of the Coast information, this, and this. Please note that players who qualify for the championship will have 14 days to respond to the email they receive from the Magic Premier Play. Otherwise, they forfeit their invitation. Qualified players should ensure that the email address associated with their Wizards account, the account system used to log in the arena, is active and up to date. Note all other invitation prizes previously given day 1 next month for 6 or more wins day 1, day 2 next month plus day 1 following month, and 6 wins day 2 have been removed. I have no idea what that means. But anyway, so there you have it, guys. I'm going to go through and check. I probably will do some streaming if I can get it up. If not, I will at least record some of my matches and at least the end so you can see where I'm at when it's all said and done. So wish me the best. And as always, remember to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, comments down below. Feeds the YouTube algorithm to try and get views for the channel as we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. There's links in the description to the eBay store, Patreon page, where you can actually fork over some cash and buy things to help me out. Also, there's an email in there for the store that you can reach out if you have any questions about anything you see on my videos, or if you just want to reach out for some special deals, which you'll get if you're a Patreon member. And finally, until next time, be kind, and I hope to see you across from the game table.